Hey there, it's Loren. I'm sitting here with Alex and Kristin, and you guys are almost on your way after 6 weeks here. Yeah?
Yeah.
So let's talk about why you decided to come and spend 6 weeks here and what that was about.
Well, for me, it all started, I learned about water fasting a while ago and came across you, came across your truth that you speak, and I've always had gastrointestinal issues going on, and I knew that water fasting and coming here was going to help me solve those. And we spoke, and then through that, I was like, I have to ask Kristin to come. If we do this together, it will be amazing, and I felt like it would really help you too. And so I asked you, and you kind of thought about it and did your process, I guess, to decide.
Yeah, Alex had always been kind of obsessed with water fasting and watched a lot of Loren's videos, and when he asked me, I felt some resistance, but I knew that resistance was not that I didn't want to do it or that I didn't need to do it. I've had a lot of hormonal issues and skin issues, Epstein-Barr type stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, if I'm meant to go, then let me go see if I can get the time off work. And so I went to my boss and I said, can I take 8 weeks off work? And she said, yeah, sure. And I said, okay, there's no resistance happening externally.
Right. Yeah.
It's all happening internally. And I was like, I think I need to do it. And also to come and do this, have this experience together is just like, we thought it was going to be powerful, but I don't know, it's just been
Even
way
more
powerful than you can imagine.
You know, it's interesting. It's kind of a crucible, I think, to see how strong a relationship is. Mm-hmm. We've had couples come together and leave apart. We've had friends come together and leave apart. You know, if there's a strong relationship, it can only make it stronger.
Yeah.
But if it's not so strong, that's probably going to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even through that process of deciding that we're going to come here, and I spoke with you about that, and you mentioned that exact thing about bringing partners. Even that advice helped us work through some stuff before we came here.
Oh, good.
And it was meant to be, and everything. But it's been an amazing experience.
Very cool. Very cool.
And there's been so many people through the process, like we've really taken the time to rest as much as possible, but and like talking mainly with each other, because it doesn't really feel like it takes us that much energy. It's just talking about things that are coming up.
Right.
And so many people that have been here have said to us, like, oh wow, I wish I brought my partner with me. Like, I didn't even think to ask them all. And I think it's just such an amazing experience to have together. And I think if we hadn't come here together, that would have probably changed our relationship in a drastic way.
Interesting. It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what often happens is one person comes, and then the other person comes later on.
Right.
Yeah.
But going through it together, very powerful. Cool. So, we know it's powerful. You said that, but how so? What was powerful about it for you?
For me, obviously there's the physical aspect. You're obviously detoxing all of these things, and coming through the refeeding now, I'm already so clear that my digestion is infinitely better than it was. Just the whole, I dealt with a lot of issues in my colon and that whole thing, and just through the refeeding realized, like, wow, this is actually just kind of working now, which it never did before.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize how much it didn't work until now that it's working. It's like, that's what it's supposed to do. That's
such an interesting point, because I think a lot of people are going through life thinking, oh, I'm okay.
Right.
Not having any idea what's possible.
And that was me for 26 years.
Yeah.
And now I have that understanding. So even just that in itself, I had little things like I had a wart on my toe and it's gone. Just fell
off.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a little like undiagnosed cyst that was back here, just this little lump. So it's half the size now.
Fantastic.
Like little things like that.
Yeah.
And then there's like obviously the emotional piece of like just things kind of come up, you know,
Yeah.
and to be able to be in a space where you can actually, I mean, you're not doing a lot at the same time you kind of are doing a lot, you know, but you're resting completely. And as these things come up, to be here in this space, which supports you to then go into that and learn about yourself
Yeah.
and discover these traumas or these beautiful emotions that you've had that you haven't really allowed to be expressed. And that's where the magic really was for me. Like even just the readings and the meditations and things that we go through were just so transformational for me, with my perspective on life.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that happens at the same time that all the physical stuff is happening too. You know?
Well, it's really perfect because, again, as I think you're both aware of, everything's interconnected. You can't really take your health to the highest level possible if you don't deal with the spiritual and emotional side.
Right.
It's not really possible.
Yeah. And then I guess lastly for me, before we get to you, because you had some amazing things too, is just, again, the connection that we've grown and developed our relationship in the 30 days that we fasted, and even in the refeeding, which is its own process. It's just, I can't put words on it, you know, this connection that we feel and what we went through together as a team. And like, I'll never be able to explain that to anyone. You know, the only person who knows that is you and what I feel in here. And, I can't put words on that.
Yeah.
That was kind of my experience.
Beautiful.
Yeah, my experience was very powerful, but for me, a lot of the time it came in such a subtle way. Like, I've always felt that I trusted my body. I said this morning. And, it's just brought a new level of trusting. And yeah, it's just a profound experience. And for me, I had a lot of skin issues, and like, even though I've done work on my face in terms of like going to see, I was seeing skin needling and having some like seeing a cornea therapist and just doing some like looking after my skin in a different way than I had. When I started doing that, my skin on my face cleared up, but it just redirected to my back, and my back flared up so bad. It was so painful at times, and I couldn't even put like a shirt on. It was like really, really sore. And so like we were looking at pictures last night. In September last year, it's like inflamed, it's lumpy, it's bright red. And even when I came here, it was improving. But to see what it looks like now, it's just, yeah, it's really amazing. And even the skin on my face is just, I don't know why, it's like it doesn't look like me sometimes.
It's a vast difference from how it was 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, because even though it was like healed and I didn't really have too many spots or anything like that, there was just all this redness through it, and this like purity that's come through my skin is just amazing in that sense. And yeah, the connection with Alex through the process, to be able to have, you know, you're resting a lot, you're laying in your room, you're in your separate beds, you're having your time, you have that alone time. But as things come up, without distracting ourselves with like reading or on the phone or like watching movies or anything like that, we didn't listen to music the whole time till like day 4 of refeeding, and that in itself is an amazing experience. Yeah. But as things come up, I've got like my sounding board, my best friend there, to talk about whatever I want to talk about, whatever's coming up for me. Yeah. And often, it's funny, Alex would be having an amazing day. He'd be like, oh, I'm so thankful, and I just love you so much. And I'd just be so triggered by the whole situation. And I was like, why am I like the complete opposite? But it was bringing up stuff in me and all this emotional healing about like how I felt about myself.
Yeah. And
if I hadn't had him here, I don't even know that it would have gone about in the same way. Like, yeah, it was just profound, but also just to be able to talk it out with him and, you know, cry and plenty of crying, and yeah, it's just really beautiful.
I think the profundity of your experience, I think, has been evident to almost everybody here.
Right.
And that's awesome. It's beautiful. Yeah. I wish more people took followed your lead and spent less time talking and online and doing everything else they're doing.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you'd like to share about what happened here for you, about how your expectations were or weren't met? Did you have expectations? And what happened?
I think part of signing up to do 30 days on water, you kind of, I don't know, certainly for me, I was like, the expectations went in the bin as soon as it booked it. It was like, whatever is going to happen is going to happen now, I'm going. Yeah, I think if I was to add anything, it would just be that it's trying to describe the fast to someone is difficult because it's so many things. It's everything, it's nothing. It's just, it's all those things. But to understand that, like, the way that like the process works and the way it's been developed is it's just so on point. And I didn't really fully realize that until like into the refeeding, and then it's just like everything is just exactly how it needs to be, whether it's the food or whether it's the way everything's set up for relaxation, or whether it's the wisdom that you're always talking about health and wellness, or just how to get the most out of the fast. We certainly, for me, found that if I just listened to what you were saying and got out of my own way, just like we're getting out of our body's own way, then it just worked and it clicked. And I've learned so much about my body through just doing that and just like listening and trusting in the process. It's bang on. And I think it's worth understanding that, because there's hard moments and you find it hard to trust in anything. Sometimes you're just like, this is really difficult. But just having that understanding, like, it's all going to be okay. And in fact, it's going to be incredible. Yeah. That would be what I would add, I guess.
Great.
Yeah, for me, it is following the process, and I had to end up drinking a lot more water than Alex seemed to need. But it's just so simple to, if you're just focusing on yourself and you're not getting trapped in any distractions, you can get the water in. Like, I was staying up to get those extra glasses of water in because I want my body to have the best options it can to be able to, move forward. And there was another point I was saying.
Come to you at some stage.
Yeah, it's just, it is that trust in you, and I found it really beneficial to, like, once you're here, the days kind of just move through, like, there's a structure, and going to, pulling yourself out to go to the lectures in the morning, it's so worthwhile. Like, it's just committing to yourself, just like moving out into the real world now. I want to commit to myself, and I want to continue this because I deserve that much.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, are you guys ready?
Totally ready.
Ready for the real world?
Oh, can't wait. Yeah.
Ready for the beach.
Okay. Yeah, that's not bad.
We're excited. We're just committed. We know what we're committed to now. There's no questions, no hesitations. This is what we're doing. This is how we're living.
Okay.
Making it happen.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go and do it.
Was there anything about this process that maybe surprised you at all? I mean, I get that you guys had watched my videos. This made sense to you before you got here. Was there anything maybe you weren't really sure about that you were surprised at how it played out for you?
I was surprised. Like, I don't know, I was surprised how crazy my mind got trying to distract myself from being in touch. But every time that would happen, I'd be like, why am I trying to distract myself? Like, what am I trying to distract myself from? And that always takes you to a different level. And,
Right.
you know. The other thing is, I was surprised that I eliminated through my fast. That was probably the biggest surprise to me.
Right.
I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, and also to even share like a little bit, even too much more information for some people maybe.
That's okay.
I got my period early through my fast. I had my period for almost a third of the whole fast, or
Right.
even like from when I got here, probably almost close to half of the fast.
Right.
Which was its own. I mean, I enjoy that experience, and that's another story. But yeah, like that takes you to a different level of tiredness, I guess.
Sure. And for anyone watching who might be wondering about that, the female body uses the monthly cycle as another way to cleanse.
Exactly.
So your body was cleansing heavily.
Yeah.
How many bowel movements did you have during the 30-day fast? Do you remember?
I think I had a couple like in the first few days, like within
Okay.
the first week,
Which is normal.
and then I had a couple like right towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not so bad.
No, it wasn't a great deal. I've heard other people having more intense experiences.
And what's happened over the last 12 days?
Yeah, there's been the first few times it was not the most pleasant experience.
Okay.
But then it becomes easier, and
Yeah.
it's the refeeding is just
Are you-
come just to have the experience of the refeeding, and do a long time just to have that experience of the refeeding, because it's just, oh my god.
The food wasn't too bad.
Oh, man, good. Gosh, so good.
So
And either one of you still feel like you're eliminating old material?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, without question. Even today, day 12, yeah, definitely old material coming out, which is actually strangely satisfying. It's like, yes,
Yeah.
see you later.
Absolutely. Yeah, you want that stuff to go.
Yeah.
You worked hard for this to happen.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff. So, any last words?
Incredible experience. Yeah. If you're thinking about doing a fast, definitely do one. It'll certainly change my life. And yeah, looking forward to doing another one potentially. And yeah, that's all I have to really say.
Yeah. Like, there's just no question. Fast. Every time you fast, your consciousness changes and you grow. And yeah, if you're thinking about asking your partner, just ask them. They can say no, but they might say yes.
That's right.
And lastly, just gratitude to you
Yeah,
for
thank
making
you, Loren.
it all happen.
As you know, it's a pleasure and a privilege to be here with folks like yourselves. So, thanks very much for being here. Thanks so much for sharing everything.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful, and we will see you next time.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.